We are live. What's going out there, YouTube? This is SEL0320. I got my man Jor-Els Alexandria on the scene here. Fortunately, Jeremy couldn't come out tonight, but we are about to talk everything Walking Dead spoiler episode for episode 12, not tomorrow yet. And I have to say out the gate, like, I really loved this episode. Um, it touched on a lot of things that I'd had speculations about, but it was wild. What were your thoughts, Jor-El? And if you want to, you can introduce your channel and who you are as well.
I'll probably wait till the end for that. But tonight's episode, I thought it was pretty solid for the most part. One thing I'm going to jump to very quickly here. By the way, it's going to be spoilers, so if you didn't want to hear it, you should leave now. You gone? Good? All right, perfect. So one thing I want to jump to was that last week, or sometime, I think sometime last week, I seen a promo for tonight's episode, but I think it was some kind of mistake from AMC's marketing team, because the promo that I saw just randomly was a promo where it sort of showed the guy at the end on the ground and the walkie-talkie next to him, and the female voice on the line saying that Carol and Maggie have been captured. So sort of that big reveal was sort of I already knew, so that was really bizarre. I'm assuming that was just like a huge like marketing mistake is what I'm assuming. So that kind of sucks. But outside of that, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. I don't know how deep you want me to go, but I'll probably just stop there. Give the episode like 8 out of 10.
Yeah, see, I think for me, man, I gave it a 10 out of 10. But I'll go into my reasons why when we go deeper into the episode. I think for me, the things that I guess we'll bring up first is that they touched on things that we talked about in the loud discussion, such as like Carol and Morgan's relationship, like how the dynamics where Carol is right now, because they had touched on her in a while, and they revisited her as showing where her character is and her humanity complex. Even like with Maggie and Glenn, like the fact is that, in my opinion, Glenn and Maggie should have just kind of stuck back. Like, I mean, Glenn just got back, and you know what I'm saying? And they're going right back into the cut. And all these different situations and issues get brought up. Even like Rick and Morgan and their perspective, they touched on it really well in the episode without going too drawn out. You know, sometimes like they'll take episodes and they'll draw it out in a long stance. And I like the simplicity of the things that they needed to touch on before they got to this group. But I mean, definitely the highlight would be the raid, all hands. But I was curious about the short abridged conversations and the relationship dynamics. What did you think about that in this episode?
Well, I think they were pretty interesting for the most part. It seems like every time Greg Nicotero is directing, we finally get to see evenly spaced character development moments, which is really nice. Because ordinarily I feel like it's like long stretch with Daryl and Rick, or like long stretch with Tara, so I like how he sort of gives those nice nuggets of time with each character. So I like that quite a bit. I mean, the Tara and Denise thing was kind of cool. Ironically, it feels like the most undeveloped romance of all time, but it's cute, I suppose. The Abraham thing is still kind of weird for me. Like, I'm not entirely sold by that. I mean, I don't understand. Like, what is so bad with Rosita? I mean, it's cool that, like, I guess he's sort of crushing on Sasha, and he's sort of awakened to the fact that Rosita's not the only woman in the world. But, like, has it been made explicitly clear why he's just like, Rosita, I'm done with you?
I think that he doesn't want to hurt her by double dipping because of the way that the world is that they live. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he could get away with still sleeping with Rosita and then kind of pining over Sasha. But I think that when the last episode came up and he was talking to Glenn, he was talking to Daryl about settling down and having a family, I think that if he chose somebody that he would want to do that with, it would be Sasha. And he can't string along Rosita. I think that they should have like added a little bit more substance to that and went more deep into it. But that's what I kind of assessed from him kind of cutting ties with Rosita. And I mean, I don't think that he could. I think he could have definitely handled it better. You know, he could have been like, "Look, it's not that I don't like you. It's not that you haven't been there for me. You haven't been my road dog. You've been my ride or die chick."
But what's the reason?
But I mean, I think the reason is that he's in love with Sasha. Like he legitimately doesn't want to keep two chicks. And I mean, that's the way that I feel about it, because when he got choked out, that was one of the things that kind of was left up the grabs in the air. It's like he was talking. There was this guy that was talking when he almost killed that guy. He talked him out and he almost stabbed him through the head. He was talking about like what flashed before his eyes was the love of his life. And I think that's the same thing that happened to him. He had this epiphany, supposedly, that it wasn't Rosita. I mean, the symbolism to me was the reason why he had the little necklace that was still stuck on the ground. He left it there. And that was when I knew he was going to cut ties with her. But I think that he should have said and established, look, I have feelings for Sasha. He just didn't outright say it. I don't know why they're leaving that up to grabs, but I think that can be kind of assessed from his actions, I guess.
Sure, yeah. And I don't want to go off on a tangent about Abraham, so. But, I mean, I still don't really get it. I mean, like he became friends with Sasha, got close with her. Now he's like, oh, man, I really want to be with her more than Rosita. That's fine, but it doesn't – to me, that's not sound enough logic to just be like, Rosita, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's incredibly bizarre. Like the reason why Rick is with fucking Michonne is because Jesse, like, literally got eaten to death. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a definitive reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not, that definitive reason is not that clear with Abraham. It just seems like he just woke up one morning and was like, man, I'm digging Sasha. Man, I don't like Rosita. Bye, Rosita. Like, what?
Yeah.
I almost feel like the writers just like looked at Rosita and was like, oh, fuck, we haven't done anything with her in like 10 episodes. Let's do something. That's what it feels like currently. But anyway, I'm done with that bullshit. But no, the whole riot situation was fantastic. I loved when Rick like held up the severed head and like punched it. That was like incredibly funny. Their usage of the word shit has got to be at an all-time high. What else is there? The music was great. That was one thing I mentioned in my video. I thought the music was outstanding. Like the suspense in this episode was fantastic.
Yes.
Some other things will probably come to mind, but yeah.
Yeah, the thing about like the whole raid, I thought that was excellently like choreographed, because the tension, like every single time they were going through a door and trying to get in the door, I was like, yo, this could be the day that somebody might get that Lucille back to the head. But I mean, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about to you, is that when Glenn and Heath went into the room, you know, to kill those two guys, after Glenn killed the second guy, it was weird, because I just thought about the fact that Glenn has never really truly killed another person, like not a walker. And this is his first time from a Cardinal standpoint that he got his hands bloody. And then for him to look at the wall and the pictures, I was like, are they really saying this is the foreshadowing? Well, what's going to happen? Because, I mean, it's obvious those are Lucille's victims. I don't know. What was your thoughts on that with Glenn and seeing the pictures?
It's funny. I hadn't thought about the pictures again until right now, actually. So I guess I'm going to have to develop something. With the Glenn thing, though, I thought that was really interesting that they chose to sort of show Glenn and the Heath dude all choked up over killing those two people. I thought it was pretty great, because it kind of shows that they should retain some sort of humanity despite all the incredible savage shit they've been through up until this point and ongoing. So that was, I don't know, that was an interesting storytelling element, because killing someone should always be wrong. You know what I mean? So yeah. I thought that was an interesting angle. As far as those pictures go, I haven't thought about them until like right now. I guess you're probably right. These are just zombies that doesn't really. I don't know why they're like plaster on the walls and sort of like a celebratory sense.
I didn't think they were zombies. I thought that because I mean the way that the bodies look, the undercarriage of the bodies, like right here to here, they look normal. They didn't look decomposed. I thought those were people that Negan had just killed, like straight up. That's what I thought. Because the way the blunt force to the head, I was thinking these are people that have taken a bat to the head. That's why I was thinking that these are Lucille's victims. And that's why I was like, it would make sense that, you know, the saviors or the followers of Negan would look at him and like, okay, this is what I represent. Even like when you were talking about the language, I think this is all a precursor to Negan, like getting us ready and primed. Like this is the way that they communicate. This is like the validity of their, the way that they speak and the way that they talk. And I mean, they have to do that. I thought that was really key, that the way that their language was, and then seeing like the actual pictures, it was almost like Negan's presence was there the whole time. That's how I kind of felt.
I can tell you right now, though, if they're gonna go the whole like we're just gonna completely remove like 95% of Negan's language, curse word wise, or like mute it out, but for some reason they can just lay up the word shit like 20, 15 times. That's really weird to me. Like really, like we could watch a like an 8-year-old boy get mauled to death by zombies, but we can't hear someone say fuck like 30 times in an episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Weird. I don't know. I mean, I still think that they should, like, on the first airings of like each episode with Negan, like those first broadcasts, like just go completely uncensored, go nuts. You know what I'm saying? But I truly don't understand. Like, it literally boggles my mind that it's an issue. Like, I don't know. Anyway, the whole riot sequence was fantastic, though. There was a lot of suspense, but it was a pretty lean episode, though. I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, the biggest takeaways for me was the suspense and the final moments. But I mean, that's about it. I mean, it's a pretty slim pickings episode.
Yeah, I think that they tied everything really well, because for Carol, just this episode start really showing signs of her humanity, and even like her relationship with that guy. Basically, like the reason why you are how you are is because you still have a mother mentality about dealing with the hard things the right way. And it was like she kind of got buck with Rick, you know, for bringing Maggie along, and then just for them two to get kidnapped. Like, does that make you feel like your suspicions about Maggie is going to come to fruition?
Well, I've had for a while now that my theory is that Maggie and Daryl are both going to die this season. That's been my current bet. But the writers have been fucking with us so much, it's almost like, who the fuck knows? But that's been who I thought was going to die. It does make me feel a little bit better, because out of all the people that get kidnapped, it just so happens to be Maggie. Interesting. And getting her back is not gonna be successful. You know what I'm saying? Even if they do get her back, it's gonna cost something extraordinary. Yeah, but it does make me think that maybe Carol might die too, because it almost seems like they could be setting up Carol to die with her being more vulnerable than I think I've ever seen her.
Yeah,
especially like with kissing that dude and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's really a scary situation, because I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with either one of them. I feel like one of them are going to come back alive. And I could see Carol sacrificing herself just to get Maggie out. Like, I could see Carol just sit up going and pulling a Rambo on us and just killing everybody. But it's like, the way her mind is right now, I don't know if she has that capability. But now I could say this. It could be that, now this is just a small theory, and it's not even anything that's plausible, but we haven't seen where Morgan is and what he's building. I don't know what Morgan's actually soldering, but I could see Morgan going out there and being like, okay, yeah, I'm going to get Carol back right now. You know, I mean, either way, it's just a lot of things that they can play with as far as the story, and this sets up a lot. But yeah, what do you think's happening next? with everything in general.
Well, as far as the Morgan thing goes, that's another thing that I completely forgot about. I don't know what the fuck Morgan was doing. Also, the last song choice. I mean, the song was dope, but it felt so random. Like literally, it almost felt like if we were in the editing room, someone was like, let's play a song right now. Like it was just really random. I was like, I mean, this is cool, I guess, but random. What's gonna happen next? Well, see, that falls in line with the last podcast we did. We had this podcast where we looked at IMDb, their plot synopsis for the episodes 13 and onward. And like there were some surprising details, and we couldn't figure out if it was like official or it just some more likely some asshole just went in there and tried to be clever. But according to that synopsis, maybe it's changed. I literally don't know. I haven't even looked at it since. But
it's the same.
The same.
It's still there.
What does it say? Because I don't remember what it says verbatim.
So. Like Jor-Els said, we were looking at this and we were like, is this going to be real? And so for episode 14, it's got it that Heath and Tara are still out on their supply run. Instead of finding goods for Alexandria, they find trouble instead. They removed the 13th episode synopsis. I don't know if you copied it or not, but they still have everything else. They've got 15 and 16.
Actually, I think I might still have it on my phone here. I'll try to pull it up really quick. But while I'm trying to pull it up, why do you think they chose Greg Nicotero to direct tonight's episode? Because for those who don't know, not only has he directed some of the best episodes of The Walking Dead ever, but he also directed this season's season premiere, and then he directed No Way Out. He directed tonight's episode and the season finale. So why do you think Greg directed tonight's episode?
I think that they got away with a lot of different things in this episode that they never would have gotten away with in normal episodes, like such as the guys even using more profanity than normal. The validity and the violence in this episode, like just people were just getting sprayed. Like that scene when Heath and Glenn were like kind of stuck in that room and they just unloaded on that door. I was like, this is not something that would commonly happen in this kind of series. And it's like, it sets up so much that I think that they wanted the right kind of person, but specifically those pictures on the wall, and even everything that's kind of like, we think that I was thinking to myself, like, this dude's got all these people in this area. There's no way that's his main base of operations. He's got to be somewhere else. And I knew that they were underestimating him, but for them to look at the group and see like, oh wow, what are y'all doing? Like, put the guns down, XYZ. I was like, this is primed to set up something really bad, And I think that they wanted him to direct this one so that he can set up something epic for the later on. Because, I mean, not only now, we got to think about this. Daryl blew up part of his group. He set Dwight free with his group. And at the same time now, they decided to mess with the Hilltop people and take their other rations. And then he had the audacity to come to his location, kill his men. Like, bro, like there are going to be some ramifications and repercussions for this joint, and it's going to be bad.
One thing, again, I mean, probably some asshole went in and wrote this, but the plot synopsis for episode 13 on IMDb was the gang is attacked by Negan in this shocking episode. And I was like, damn, if that's true, then that would mean that next episode would be fucking, fucking insane. You know what I'm saying? Just insane. By the way, real quick, random, but during the riot, when they first got in there and they were just stabbing, sleeping motherfuckers, it was a real hesitation of this guy sleeping, and Rick walks up to him and he just stabs him in the dome for a moment. I just, at that angle, I thought holy shit, is that Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, bro.
But that was erased literally I don't know, 7 seconds later. So, but that actually would have been really epic if he was about to go kill this dude, and actually was Negan, and I don't know, someone tripped the alarm, the lights went out, they came back on, he was gone. Some bullshit, I don't know. But for 1 second, I thought it was Negan, but it wasn't. But it was cool.
I thought the same thing, man. Me and Joe were looking, and even like the live stream, they were like, "Is this Negan? Like, is something about to happen? Like, he's gonna stop this, you know?" And then the dude gets stabbed, and I was like, "Okay, that's not Negan." But
so much for that. But if this plot synopsis for episode 13 is correct, that would be interesting.
yeah,
I'm trying to think of what might specifically happen next episode. I mean, I think it's still early to just straight off a fan favorite. I mean, we might see like a Slim Pickens motherfucker die, like Spencer or something, maybe. But because it looks like they're gonna have to go to where the fuck Maggie and Carol are being held at by next episode.
yeah.
So, also, I thought it was incredibly weird that the woman on the phone had so many details. You know, she knew it was Rick. She knew what kind of car or gun he had. I mean, I suppose you could chop it up to they were watching from like 50 feet away, unbeknownst to them, I suppose. But I don't know. It just felt a little like she was a little bit too familiar with them. But I could be totally wrong. Maybe like from 50 feet away, she fucking headbutted Maggie and was like, "What's his fucking name? What kind of gun does he have? Thanks." You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, it felt like she knew a little bit too much, but I could be wrong. Just theorize it.
Yeah, it kind of had that from season 1. Remember when Rick was in the tank, and then all of a sudden Glenn just called him on the comm and just described everything. You know, it had this unworldly kind of feel to it, where it's like anything can go down now. Like, is Negan with him? Like, how much do they know? And then it kind of got removed because they showed exactly who was actually saying it. But I think that it would have been better if they would have just left the dialogue as that and then not showed anything. But was it the previews that showed who it was on the comm, or was it in the episode?
No, the previews, all they show was the dude laying on the ground, the walkie next to him. You see Glenn and Rick's reaction as we hear the woman on the line, but that was it.
Oh, okay. But another thing that was interesting about this episode is everybody's booed up. Everybody's like, you know, going into their relationships, like Tara with what's her name, and even like, I mean, there's not anybody that's not booed up unless they're really young, and even like Carl got him a little booed. So, I mean, given the fact that everybody's booed up, I was telling Joe, I was like, you know what, Joe, 50% of these relationships are going to end just because somebody's going to die. But I was curious at your stance on the relationship standpoint.
Most of them are going to end tragically very soon, but it's cute. You know what I'm saying? The Denise and Tara thing, I think it's pretty fucking cute. Rosita, they need to kill her or do something drastic with her because, the Abraham, I still don't really understand where Abraham is coming from, psychologically speaking, but I mean, Sasha's gone, she's like fine as hell, so go ahead, I suppose. And yeah, I'm telling you, there's no way. I would like put some money down on this. There's no way that both Maggie and Glenn are coming out of this season alive. There's no way. That'd be fucking. I just don't see it happen. That'd be so bizarre. Why the fuck would they do that? You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that Daryl's gonna die. You're saying that Maggie's gonna die, and you think that Glenn's gonna die too?
Well, I don't think that Maggie and Glenn are gonna die. That would be really interesting. I think that one of them needs to die, Maggie and Glenn. Just to give how could you be sticking so close to combos? Because in the last episodes, they've been sticking very closely to the source material. Obviously, there's been deviations, but you know what I'm trying to say. The Hilltop, Jesus, Dwight, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
So for them to just sort of jump over this speed bump, which is arguably the biggest moment in the series to date, it just doesn't seem plausible. One of them needs to go out.
Yeah.
This season, I mean. By the way, random, but I am going to start reading the comics.
Are you going to buy the continuums, or are you going to just do the online thing?
I'm not really sure, but I will be reading the comic books though. So just to let people know.
Oh snap! Shoot, we should definitely try to have like discussion on comics then. All right, that's down. That's what's up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean, I gave the episode a 10 out of 10. You gave it a what now?
I gave it I just gave it a 8 out of 10. I mean, it was really, really good. I think the suspense and the tension is there. Anyone who's watched my stream, I'm just sort of beating the dead horse. But I thought the tension suspense was great. I thought the way that Greg Nicotero handled the spotlight for each character in this episode was very well done. Felt cohesive. It didn't feel slow, even though we didn't get much, ironically.
Yeah.
And I thought the riot sequence was great, and I think it's a great plan. Clearly, it's gonna go horrifically wrong, but I thought it was a solid plan. I mean, come on. I mean, what else were they supposed to do? Yes, maybe they could have perfected their plan a lot better, but I think going after the enemy versus enemy coming after them is a way better idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, well, why don't they keep running? They've been running, niggas. All right, there ain't nowhere else to go. Alexandria is pretty damn nice. Why not try to just say fuck it this time and switch it up and try to go seek out the enemy yourself?
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like when Morgan said what he said, you know what I'm saying? It was really, how do I put it? He wasn't thinking from a literal standpoint. I think that he was thinking to himself like, how do I avoid this situation? And at the same time, I kind of felt like he was like feeling guilt because of what happened. Like him even opening his mouth, I didn't think that was gonna happen. I was really happy that he actually talked about his perspective and his philosophy, because I was thinking to myself, if he doesn't stand up, that's gonna be a really missed opportunity from showing like where he stands. Even though I don't agree with it, it's like I'm glad that he kind of stood up for what he said. But the thing was that I don't necessarily think that when I thought about them raiding the camp, I was like, they don't know what they're getting themselves into. I was thinking, then this is going to be a botched plan. I think that the plan worked better than I could have hoped, but it was like there was a lot of safety measures that they didn't take into consideration. I think a lot of people, even after Rick was like confirmed and asked everybody, some people didn't open their mouth because Rick's new way of thinking is keeping them alive. And even with Morgan's perspective about like trying to talk with the group, that's a misguided standpoint. But at the same time, they didn't necessarily have to stick their neck out for this Hilltop group. And I'm daggone sure they can find resources elsewhere. I don't think that they have to do anything with this group, but I feel like now they're trying to establish their dominance and trying to establish their independence in a stint. And I can understand that, but I don't feel like they had to get involved with this group at all. Like, to be quite real, in my personal opinion. So I feel like there's a lot of misguided like perspectives going on, but everybody generally, after everything was said and done and they went, like Rick said it, like there's no turning back now. Like I was like, hey, it is what it is now. Like let's see where it goes. But there's gonna be some ramifications for this.
Yeah, for sure. I thought there was one thing I was gonna say, but I totally forgot what it was. Yeah, I forgot it. But there is one thing I wanted to say from the comic books. It's like it's a very, very slight spoiler. So if you don't want to hear, cover your ears for like 2 seconds, because this has been driving me crazy all day. All right, so I'm about to say it right now. You guys ready?
Uh-huh.
Okay. There's this one line. This is when I knew I had to read the comic books, because I'm so sick of dodging comic book spoilers. Is like becoming literally increasingly more difficult as the days go by. But apparently there is some sequence where like I think it's like sexual, I suppose, but like I guess in the in the comic, Carl doesn't, he doesn't have the eye. He kind of walks around without a bandage, looks like sometimes. And I read something that like was describing a scene where like some chick was like sensually licking his eye socket or something.
Oh,
And I was like, I am reading the comic book stat. I'm reading the comic book so quick. Do you know how incredible like that mind? Even if I like misinterpreted that by like I don't know 50% out of 100, still that is so brilliant. That is some left field. Robert Kirkman is a monster, so I was like, fuck it. Let me read the comic and watch the show because. I mean, I could get deeper into it, but the comics, apparently I'm missing a great time, so I need to hop on.
Yeah, full disclaimer for anybody that like just watched the show and been an advocate of the show, you may not be able to handle the things and events that happen in the comics because they have no held punches and they do not hold back at all. It's raw, for a lack of a better word. Even like if you think the governor was bad, wait till you hear the dialogue and the things that Negan is gonna say and does against the group. So I mean, I don't want to gross anybody out, but there's some seriously messed up stuff that happens in the comics.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah, I don't want to go any further into it, but this is something that like I just accidentally saw by accident. I was just binge watching like Walking Dead videos, and this just like came up, and I was like, what? Like it literally warped my brain. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I think I just hope we're moving past the setup soon. Like I want to see things like happen. Like tonight's episode was cool, but I don't need another 2 episodes like this. Like I want some shit to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like substance. Give me something. Yeah. Don't wait until episode 16 for everything to happen because I'm gonna be full asleep by that time.
But yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was pretty awesome. It was actually really fun, like doing like the live stream with y'all. So thanks everybody for checking out, and thanks everybody that's watching right now. Like y'all have been really awesome. Definitely go to Jor-Els page because we've been having some really good conversations as far as all things like spoiler related and talking about certain things about The Walking Dead. So definitely the next time we do that, y'all should definitely check that out on Jor-Els page. It's in the description bar below. You can go and check that out.
Apparently someone named Lydia was licking that eye socket. Bro, when I get there, I'm probably gonna forget. So it's probably literally gonna re-fuck my who thinks. That's why I was like, I didn't read the comic books because who thinks of some shit like that? I'm being serious. That's crazy. Like crazy originality. Like what the fuck? But so I'll be on it, guys. I'm on it. I'm hot pursuit as quickly as I can. Unfortunately, the compendiums are fucking too expensive in stores, so I gotta wait a little bit for them to be shipped. But yeah, I will be on it.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll be diving into the comic books, or will you just be sticking with the show?
No, if you're gonna go through it, man, I'm gonna buy the continuums because I gotta reread them. I've only gone through Continuum 1, and then I've gone through half of Continuum 2. Like I stopped reading probably really after they got out of the prison, and then right as they were about to get to Alexandria, that's when I kind of stopped. So I haven't read anything since that point. I read bits and pieces there, and I've definitely read certain articles and information on Negan. But yeah, if you're gonna go for it, man, I'm gonna buy the continuums. I'm gonna go through like Continuum 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I think they're like $33 on Amazon. So I'm gonna have to go just one at the time. But yeah, like definitely we should talk about this. I think it'd be really fun. And let us know in the comment sections below if y'all want to join in on that at the Jor-Els page, and we can kind of go over the comics in detail there. But I don't got anything else, man. You got anything? Final thoughts?
No, I think actually the only final thought I have is that why did you give this episode a 10 out of 10?
I think that because of the conversations that we already had about like the possibility of the stuff that happened with IMDb being a plausible reality. that, I mean, that was one of the big things. On top of that, the presence of Negan, I was thinking to myself, if this episode, my anticipation was like, they're not going to talk about Negan. It's going to be a cop-out. Something's going to happen. They're never even going to get to do the plan or anything. And it actually happened, and it was really satisfying. It was really tension-driven. And then the other thing that I wanted from a fan standpoint is to finally understand the relationship between Morgan and Carol, where Morgan is, where Carol is, and her dynamics of reality. And they did that. And so for me as a fan, they fulfilled all the things that I really wanted. And it was like I said, Negan's presence was felt even though he wasn't in the episode. And I think that Greg Nicotero did a great job in making me feel that, because it could have been like an episode like, you know, they just kind of beat it around the bush, but they showed all these different kind of nudges, such as the dialogue with the Saviors, such as showing the photos, even showing like the realization that they have no idea how capable this man's team is, because they killed a lot of people. And like Negan is definitely somewhere else with a huger group. So I think that for me, it built like even more better foundation for where this is going to go. And it gave me everything that I wanted. So that's the reason why I ended up giving it a 10.
Wow. Okay. Damn. I think I only would have gave it a 10 if like if the riot started like 10 or 15 minutes in. I think that probably would have been the only way I could.
What if Negan would have showed up? What would you have given it? If he actually showed his face and at the end of the episode, that's the person you see.
I don't know. That would be interesting. I suppose that it would depend on how it was done. I mean, I don't know, like, because I'm not, like, episodically, I'm not too huge into setups. Like, sometimes they get it right, like tonight's episode, or, you know, what was it, start to finish? Sometimes they get it really, really right, setup wise, but I just want to get to the point, you know what I'm saying? But saying Negan would have been cool, though, but I want the first reveal to be perfect, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to speak to that. Like, I want it to be, his entrance has to be the best moment on the show so far.
So you're happy that they didn't show Jeffrey Dean Morgan in this episode then?
I am, actually, because you don't want to. I mean, his entrance in the comics seemed like iconic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the introduction of Michonne in the TV show to me is iconic. I'm not sure how similar it is to comics. Maybe it's like literally if you did page by page comparison, it's the same. But how it was done in the TV show, I thought was literally iconic. Television right there. Like, that's just an image that I'll like literally never forget. So I am kind of glad that they didn't show him yet, because it needs to kind of be perfect, unfortunately. AMC, sorry, but it kind of needs to be perfect for real. I mean, apparently he's like, you know, the worst villain of the series so far. So yeah, I kind of like this. They're building them up as sort of like a boogeyman.
Yeah. So I don't have anything else. If you're done,
yeah, I don't have anything else.
Everybody definitely go and check out Jor-Els' page. He's got a lot of content up there. Go to the description bar below. Check out his channel. Give him a subscribe and like. I think you did a review for the episode too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely go check out his review for it, and we'll be back next week. Keep it locked. Y'all take care.
We'll be back. Peace, guys.
Peace.